Hi, Alex. Welcome to the 100x show.
Hello, Mehdi. Thanks for having me here.
To kick things off, Alex, I just want to know a little bit about your origin story, your inspiration, and your team's inspiration to build Aurora, and as well as a little bit about your team as well.
I'm a tech guy, was studying computer sciences and was doing quite a lot of mathematical modeling. And since 2015, I turned my eyes into the blockchain. I really like the ideas behind the blockchain technology, the ability to create a layer of trust without any particular person that you need to trust to. So I started to work in the software development in the blockchain industry. I started with the company Bitfury, and later on in 2018, I bumped into the fact that my schoolmate Ilya started Near Protocol. Unfortunately, we were not able to find a way how we can cooperate back then. But we were on the radar, and at the moment when I became a free agent, he invited me to join Near as a person to lead all the Ethereum Ethereum targeted things inside of the Near team. So I took the ownership of two projects. One is the Rainbow Bridge, and the second one was back then it was called EVM. So there was no Aurora back then. And pretty soon after I started working with Near, everything everything was going great, and Ilya suggested that we need to spin off and create a separate entity for it. We just decided to do it. Now, as for the ideas that we have in mind for the whole team and for the whole Aurora, it is the following. We are always thinking about giving more power in the hands of the people, and making sure that the amount of these people is actually can be big, right? So we're always thinking about scaling things, because from what we see right now, blockchain industry is not growing that big. We're nowhere close to many different verticals of Web2. So that's why we always think, okay, what do we need to do? How to improve the user experience? How to improve the scalability of the tech? How to make sure that people are not the user experience is not overcomplicated, and things like that. This is our main motivation for Aurora, and for sure we are not the guys who will be willing to reinvent the wheel and sell to the market absolutely the same ideas and same things that already were developed. Instead of doing this, we are trying to develop something new, something unique, some of the pieces that are going to enhance everything and enhance and move the industry forward. That's our thinking.
That's great. You touched upon a lot of points. One by one, we'll decode them. Rainbow Bridge, Near Protocol, all of these elements will decode. But just to initiate, can you tell our audience in our community a little bit about Aurora? What are you guys trying to do with Aurora? And how is it perhaps different from other EVM protocols? So in the market, you have Moonbeam, you have Neon Labs, you have C Chain of AVAX, you also have Evmos now. So how is Aurora different from all of these competitors?
Yeah. So for the ordinary user, what I can tell that Aurora is pretty simple to any of the Ethereum scaling solutions that are out there, right? At the very top kind of perspective, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Phantom, additional rollups like Optimism and Arbitrum, and Aurora, they are pretty much the same. They are more or less, all of these projects are more or less Ethereum compatible, which means that the developers do not need to change almost anything in the code of the smart contracts, and they can integrate pretty easily with these new kind of chains. And from the user perspective, the most important change is that the users do not need to pay extremely high gas fees like on Ethereum. If we will go a little bit deeper, so from on the top level, everything is absolutely the same. If we will go a little bit deeper, and we will try to figure out what are the specifics of this. So we have we have a pretty interesting construction on how Aurora is developed. So a pretty unique feature is that Aurora is not a separate chain. It is a smart contract, which is kind of strange. A network is a smart contract. What does it mean? It means only the only thing. The EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, or the runtime, or the place where the smart contracts are executed. This is an essential part of the Ethereum blockchain. So we are taking only this thing from the Ethereum. We are not taking consensus mechanism, network layer, storage facilities. We're taking only the execution environment, and we're putting it as a smart contract on a pretty performant layer one solution, which is near blockchain. So we are reusing Near's consensus, Near's network, Near's speed, and so on. We're taking care of only the runtime environment. So this is pretty unique, though, and like as far as I understand, we are the only solution that is launched in production for already more than a year right now. Neon Labs is trying to do it. Okay, Moonbeam is already in production, right? So sorry. So Moonbeam is there for Polkadot. So these are closer kind of projects to what we're doing. Besides that, what we're also trying to do is, as I said, to improve user experience, and Aurora Plus is a product that really improves this experience, and that nobody else have developed right now, or there are no kind of movements in this direction. And then we have also additional ideas how we can scale Aurora, but probably this is for the next question or something.
Yeah. So when I came across Aurora in one of the conferences in Dubai, one of the selling point that Aurora at that moment had was the currency could have been Ethereum, like you can pay gas fees in Ethereum, and Dev don't even have to change the currency into a native currency. They can just literally copy paste. So was that one of the unique selling point, or has Aurora grown so much now and gained so much traction that is no longer the focal point?
This is one of the points. The idea from the very beginning was to simplify the experience of users and devs, right? So for the devs, they do not need to change the contracts, and we have seen the problems, right? In case you're migrating to the chain with a new currency, well, you need to, like before, previously you were having two ETH, I would say. It was like the base token ETH and the wrapped ETH. Now you have only one ETH, but instead you have two base tokens, right? The base token and the wrapped asset. Now the problem that can be happening with it is that maybe this asset is not listed on the exchanges. Maybe it doesn't have a very deep liquidity, which means that the Oracle solutions are not going to provide proper prices for it, which means that also you would not be able to show to the user in the front ends the good information. So we were thinking about all of these things, and we decided that it's just simpler to keep Ether as a base token. It works perfectly well. Moreover, from my point of view, this is like my personal thing. I was writing a Twitter thread about it. The power of the base token is extremely exaggerated at the moment. People are so if we will combine all of the fees that Ethereum transactions were incur, it will add up over the past year. It will add up to less than 1% of the total market cap of Ethereum, which means if we will take a look at this from the standpoint of a business, then it literally means that the Ethereum business is getting revenues that is 1% of the total valuation of the company, which is absolutely insane in the ordinary businesses, right? For Solana, it is going to be 0.03%, right? No business is actually having kind of that crazy thing, which means that the value of the tokens, the value of the base tokens that are associated with the projects, it is not in the fees of the base token. It is in kind of different place, right? Uh, uh, I know for sure that this is the fact. I cannot tell to everybody what is the actual why Solana is so high, why Ethereum has that much that market cap. I cannot explain this to everybody, but the thing that I really know is that it is for sure not because of the base token and not because of forcing people to actually have this base token.
Yeah, so like you bring a really good point. Like we are slightly going on tangent, but I think you brought a really interesting point. So do you think the valuation of these base layer L1s is because of that we are treating these L1s as a multi-sided platform? So the utility is not just fees. There's also this lower velocity where people are storing it, people are just keeping it, and people are also speculating on it. Do you think the utility is coming from the fact that these are multi-sided platform and you need to own it to kind of use it? So it's kind of like a hybrid between equity, commodity, and a currency.
Um, I, I do believe that right now tokens are somewhere in between for sure, for sure. Because many people are thinking of it as less than so people are thinking about Ethereum as not as a currency, but they are thinking about it as an investment vehicle, right? So, which means that in case it is an investment vehicle, it is not a currency, right? People for sure treat Bitcoin as an investment, not as a currency at all, right? So for every specific kind of layer one, this is probably kind of different, a little bit of a mixture. However, the major sentiment from the market that I have is that still people are they they have the kind of expectation of the future growth of the ecosystems. So from that point of view, I do believe that people associate the token with the whole ecosystem that is built around this token, and maybe there is no strict economical kind of link. But near protocol, for example, right? They are. It seems that they are successful because they have Ref Finance, which is the native AMM solution. They have Burrow, which is native lending solution, and the amount of applications is expanding and growing exponentially. So people kind of perceive that near token is going to capture this value, while it is not directly like that. There is no kind of um, necessity of this happening, I would say.
Yeah, just double tapping again. I think that's a valid point, but then you also see some ecosystem like Cosmos that they're doing brilliant things, but people have always had this concern of token utility, like how does the token accrue value? So even though the ecosystem like is very large and very vibrant, but but the price impact, the valuation impact it had over the past, it has not been as significant as, let's say, some of the other layer ones. So so like what's your view on that? Like do you still think revenue and value accrual is still important? It's just not the ecosystem, like, or it has to be like both simultaneously?
I think it is very important, and continuing the ideas about the base token. Here is example for you. So if we will take a look at Dubai as a business, then this is the business that has zero revenues, right? The taxes are zero, so the Dubai is not accruing these revenues, right? But some kind of strange, right? What does it mean? Does it mean that Dubai has zero value? Well, probably no. If I will make an offer to buy Dubai at the price of $1, I would probably not going to be successful with it. So the value is in a different place, right? So we already agreed on it. But what if I would be able to become a shareholder of all of the Dubai businesses? Would it represent some kind of value of Dubai somehow? I believe yes. So so again, we're coming to the point where the thing that is important is the ecosystem, right? And from that point of view, the way how Aurora DAO designed Aurora staking is actually a pretty nice thing that supports this kind of move, right? That the value is in the ecosystem.
Alex, I think now it's a good time to even segue into the token utility of Aurora. So maybe you can tell us how Aurora tokens accrue value and what the token utility are.
Sure.
And maybe you can also introduce Aurora Plus now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, with pleasure. So Aurora token is the governance token. The main idea of the Aurora token is actually to be able uh, to govern the project. That's it. So and the way how it is implemented is pretty, or how the governance is implemented or is going to be implemented is pretty similar to what modern proof of stake blockchains are doing, right? So you just need to stake your tokens in order to get some voting rights. And for staking, since your tokens become non-liquid, there is a kind of rewards that you are getting. So this is one to one with what is happening with many proof of stake layer one blockchains. Now, the thing that is different is how the value is created from staking. So for many L1 and ones, it is just freshly minted tokens that are distributed to the users. There is no explanation why this is happening, and maybe it's okay for the token to be a deep currency that is included in the blockchain, because currency needs to have inflationary economics, and that's kind of okay, right? With Aurora token being a governance token, we do not want to inflate the supply of Auroras. Aurora token has a fixed supply, right? And we already said that accruing the value through the kind of burning of the tokens on because of the fees, it doesn't make sense, right? So how we can incentivize our ecosystem to share the value back to the Aurora token holders? And Aurora DAO managed to create, from my point of view, an extremely great example of how this can be done. So when user is staking Aurora token, he is capable of getting rewards from different so-called streams, and these streams are created by the projects from the Aurora ecosystem. So currently, in case the user is taking Aurora, he gets rewards, five different tokens as rewards. He gets Aurora itself. He gets USN rewards, which is the native stablecoin of Near protocol. He gets Trisolaris, Origami, and Bastion. The latter three are the biggest protocols in the Aurora ecosystem. So user simultaneously gets all of these benefits. What is the reason for these projects? And yes, new projects that are coming onto Aurora, they are capable of creating these streams. They can do this. What is their motivation for do it, right? Why they would like to share a portion of their token supply with Aurora stakers? There are two kind of ideas that I have in my head. One is just that this is a proper way of doing airdrop, because this is like a pre-installed way of doing airdrop to the ecosystem. In case project would like to spread the tokens, have a wide spread of the token holders, then this is a proper way to do it. And second thing, well, maybe somebody invested in this project, and the requirement is that this investment, the kind of upside of the investment, it should be distributed back to the Aurora token holders. Now, who would invest and share this proceedings back? Well, it is community. It is Aurora community. And Aurora DAO, like these thoughts were already from the very, very beginning of the Aurora DAO operations, that we need to create, or like it was created at the moment when the token was created, the fund for 200 million Auroras, which is representing 20% of the Aurora token supply. This money is allocated to the community treasury. And then the token holders are managing this fund, and they are able to use this fund in order to incentivize the development of the platform. Which means the following. Imagine that we have two projects that are coming to this community treasury. So the platform is not yet built, right? But it is going to be built and it's going to be launched. But imagine the following. It is there already. This token this treasury is using these 200 million Aurora tokens as incentives. And there are two projects that are coming there. One project is saying that, hey, give me some money, I will build you this product. And another project is coming and saying, hey, I will build you absolutely the same project, but I'm going to allocate 5% of my tokens back to the community for funding my project, which are going to be distributed through Aurora staking stream. And obviously, in such a case, the community will vote for the second project. So Aurora staking is a convenient tool for the community to be able, through the community treasury, create this loop of incentives. Community literally invests or incentivizes projects to build on Aurora, while projects are given back to the community through the Aurora staking mechanics. And the good thing is that, well, there is no centralized authority here. This is just anyone is able to use the staking smart contract, right? And anyone who is willing to do it can create the stream. So this is just a mechanism that enables it. Now, it is the market and it is the power of the users of Aurora who are having the control over the community treasury. It is them who are actually going to push the ecosystem to share back the value with them. So from my point of view, this is just a very elegant way, without nailing everybody and saying you must be with our ecosystem for the next 2 years, exclusivity, and you need to pay 10% of your tokens and stuff like that, and like putting it in stone. No, nothing is put in stone, but this allows for a kind of natural growth of the ecosystem, and this is just the tool that stimulates the value accrual, and this is a tool that stimulates the proper value distribution in the Aurora ecosystem.
Yeah, so that's great. This is one of the utility that has just recently implemented. So one of the questions I was meaning to ask you, like this now becomes a more rhetorical question. So you did mention one of the ways tokens accrue value is through ecosystem. So since Aurora, in the macro point of view, is still part of near ecosystem, and near validator sets are actually securing the network. So from an investment standpoint, I get that there is token utility in Aurora, but from a macro standpoint, near is also accruing value. So, and since it's securing the network, so if I have this rebuttal, where let's say from an investment standpoint, where an investor comes in and says near protocol will accrue more value than Aurora, and hence it's a better investment, how would you refute that? Like, how will you do a rebuttal that what Aurora is equally good, even though you mentioned some of the points now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Unfortunately, I'm not able to again share a lot. If like I need to reveal the thoughts that we have in our heads and the products the new products that we are doing. But let me tell you the following thing: dynamic resharding is an ability of near blockchain to move the smart contracts from one shard to another shard. And the idea behind it is the following. In case, for example, there is a smart contract which usage is growing, then this smart contract can push other smart contracts out of his own shard in order not to congest this particular shard, right? So the smart contract grows in usage, it pushes out from the shard all of the other smart contracts, and eventually what can happen is that there is one specific shard for this particular contract, and that's it. There is nothing more than that. In case the smart contract usage decreases and the smart contract shrinks, then on other shards the usage might be higher. So the near runtime will automatically move some of the smart contracts from that shards to this particular shard. The idea behind it is pretty straightforward. It is absolutely not a simple thing how to implement this. But for Aurora, it gives a very important thing that we are not that in Aurora we are not thinking about these kind of shards, right? Where different contracts that Aurora is using are located. We are not thinking about co-locating of the contracts on the same shard. We are not thinking of of anything of like that. So the most important thing for us is that it is simple and transparent. We can create many different applications that are having different smart contracts, and we are 100% sure that the gas prices on the usage of these contracts are going to be adjusted and are going to be minimal. So it is not just one they're not going to be positioned in the same shard, and they are going to congest each other, right? This is something that is not going to happen, and from that point of view, we are pretty happy.
All right. I also saw Aurora recently launched $90 million developer fund, specifically targeting DeFi. So, what are some of the themes and what are some of the upcoming DeFi project do you think community is excited about, or perhaps you in general are excited about to kind of see being built on Aurora?
So yeah, unfortunately, at the moment of the publication of the news, it is a 90 million fund. It happened right after the publication of the news happened right after the Luna drop. But actually, the fund was allocated way back in April, when the actual amount that was allocated was 300 million. So this money were allocated to a pretty known entity in the Near ecosystem. It is called Proximity Labs. This is the entity who is developed, whose existence is all about bootstrapping the DeFi ecosystem. So they were receiving this grant from Aurora DAO. It was pretty similar to the grant that they received from the Near Foundation. In terms of the so that's all about the stuff, right? So in terms of the projects that we are extremely excited, there are not a lot of them that are left, I would say. So Curve already launched on Aurora natively. Proximity was providing the grant for incentives to Curve. And as far as I understand, the incentives are up to $7 million US, depending on how Curve is going to execute. So let's see what is going to happen. But for sure, for everybody who loves stable coins, at pretty soon probably is going to be available these incentives. Unfortunately, I'm not in the loop in that conversation, so it is happening completely separate. I know about the talks that are happening between Proximity and the major AMM solution, together with the major lending solution from the Ethereum mainnet. So as far as I understand, these two projects are willing to come as a bundle, so together, holding their hands, I would say. And I'm super excited in case this is going to happen, because this is the bringing of the kind of blue chips from Ethereum to Aurora. After this is happening, taking into account that Origami and Bastion are our native lending solutions. So now we will have 3 lending solutions, and they are able to compete with each other. They are all in kind of have a little bit different kind of directions. And then we have also Tree Solaris, which is the Sushi Swap fork. Taking into account all of these developments, I believe the good foundation for the DeFi ecosystem will be completely built. And now it is the questions of kind of smaller protocols, however, to come in. However, the protocols that are given more kind of capital efficiency and making sure that DeFi is blooming. Some of these protocols are already launched on Aurora. Again, the ones that are already known for other ecosystems, for example, Beefy Finance. So Beefy is already operational on Aurora, and there are lots of others that are there. But obviously, with a great foundation, with a deep liquidity in these foundational projects, this is going to kind of even make the ecosystem, enrich the ecosystem, right? So
Yeah, we did cover DeFi here. Let's say if there's a new user who just jumps into Aurora, coming to the Aurora ecosystem for the first time, what are some of the gaming and NFT projects will you kind of recommend them to kind of explore, like as per your recommendation? Also, perhaps a DeFi project, like let's say he or she wants to explore Aurora ecosystem, play around. What will your recommendation be with regards to different apps he or she should explore?
so on Aurora we have more than 100 applications already launched. Unfortunately, I do not have time to check out all of them. But I know the great resource where people are able to actually to check what is happening. This is the ecosystem page on the Aurora.dev website. So it is Aurora.dev/ecosystem. And there is a pretty nice, since there are so many applications, there is a nice little filtering mechanism there. So you can filter it by NFTs and figure out what is happening there. Now, there is one particular project that I know of that is in the middle, in between the NFTs and the gaming. It is called Ape DAO. So they are doing. So they have their own apes. It's not. It is the different apes, and they are. And there is some kind of gaming mechanics that is connected with it. So they are either already launched. I believe they already launched, and they are available there. So this is for sure something that users would be able to check it out. But unfortunately, I'm super busy with building tech. Do not have lots of time to check it out. But also one additional very straightforward thing in the NFT space to check out would be Aurora Plus, because Aurora Plus has also the NFTs included inside of it. And about this project, I can tell you quite a lot of different things.
Yeah, perhaps if you can share your screen and just walk us through Aurora bots. I think it's been given out as lucky draw, if I'm not wrong.
So just recently we launched a project that is called Aurora Plus. It is located at Aurora.plus, and I encourage everybody to go to Aurora.plus and unfortunately, I'm already here and see everything. Probably here Aurora, about Aurora Plus. Right. So in case you are not logged in yet in Aurora Plus, you will see this page. And this is the explanation about what Aurora Plus is. I highly recommend everybody to watch the Aurora event on the YouTube. This is a 20-minute video that actually explains quite a lot about Aurora Plus, what it is, and what is our vision about it. So there are also some written materials about it. In short, Aurora Plus is something like a membership program in Aurora, or the kind of loyalty program in Aurora, or you can think of it also as just a user account in Aurora. Is this just the specific way of how people are able to connect to Aurora? So once you're creating an account in Aurora Plus, it requires only your email address. What you are getting from Aurora Plus is the is an ability to create your own very specific, personalized connection point to Aurora. This connection point is installed in your MetaMask. So it is called the personalized RPC endpoint. So you will have the personalized RPC endpoint. And because of this, our RPC servers would be are able to fine tune the responses to any of your queries uh, and tune these responses specifically to you and as a particular user. So for example, the thing that, like an insane thing that we are able to implement with this mechanics is the per user gas prices. So gas prices that are specific to a user. And the thing that we are implementing from the very beginning is that users are actually having 50 free monthly transactions. And this is something completely, well, pretty strange for other blockchains, because everybody needs to have the same kind of gas price. And we are saying, no, like, let's not think of it like that. Uh, let's create something more convenient. Let's have 50 free transactions, but this is only the beginning, right? Later on, what we are going to do is we are going to create subscription models, and this is pretty straightforward for the people in nowadays, right? In 1990s, we were paying for the mobile network per second of the call, right? It was okay, but if some of the mobile companies are going to propose this to do to the users right now, they are probably going to go bankrupt. It's just because it is not convenient for the users to do it. Why we cannot change it? We can, and this is what we are going to do with Aurora Plus. We're going to introduce subscription models for the users, and this would be able to be bought using just ordinary banking cards, right? So you buy some amount of free transactions per month, or some amount of transactions per month, and then you're just using it and not thinking about it. In the Aurora Plus interface, you are already able to see some of the pieces of the Aurora staking. So this is the Aurora staking dashboard. You are able to check your staked balance, the amount of earned tokens. This is Aurora tokens. They are compounding here. And then you are able to see, as I said, ecosystem streams, right? So we have here USN, Bastion, Trisolaris, and Origami. So there are additional streams are going to be added over time when the projects are willing to do it. So, but besides the free transactions, staking interface, there is also an Aurora airdrop. So, I encourage everybody to, in case you are willing to take the airdrop, you can go log in and then claim it. But there are also these Auro bots, and this is actually a very interesting thing, a very interesting concept that actually improves these free transactions kind of premise. So. Aurora Bots is a unique collection of 111 NFTs, right? And they are looking nice, right? We probably are able to reach Bros collection, right? So you can see that they look pretty nice. If any one of you already knows the Mr. Brown NFTs. So this is you would be able to find similarities, I would say. But besides just a nice kind of image and a nice thing to share, what Aurora bots are able to give to you and their functionality is that instead of 50 free transactions, the users who are having Aurora bots, they will have X10 in the amount of monthly free transactions. So they will have 500 free transactions, which it can be implemented, or it is already implemented by our Aurora Plus product. So and obviously this is just free transactions per user per month, or robots who are improving and creating an additional kind of very specific tier of fund of users who are having additional transactions per month that are free. All of these things, they're just the first steps in the versatility of what Aurora and Aurora Plus is offering here. So we are going to move towards the more, as I said, more Web2 experience, simplification of all of the things, and making sure that it has pretty nice gamification features, and it's just much more convenient to use, like with buying a subscription with your bank card. That's the direction that we are going.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for showing that. The UI UX it looks amazing. So congratulations on that. I'm very excited to actually, after this call go and explore. Also, we'll put the links down below for our audience who wants to explore. So Alex, before we conclude, it was a pleasure having you. But before we conclude, was there anything that I might have missed that you want to perhaps add?
I just wanted to give a shout out to all of the crypto market. Right now, you probably experiencing lots of troubles and lots of kind of bad mood. I believe different events outside of crypto markets, they are adding up into the overall kind of situation. I just recommend everybody stay calm, love your relatives, love your closest ones. I think that everything is going to be okay. As a crypto market, as a humanity, I hope that we will find a way out of this mess that is happening within the previous months, and just stay strong. Do not do any stupid things. Make sure that every step is weighted, and if you're going to continue, focus on the things that are bringing value, on the things that are interesting to you, on the things that are making you feel comfortable and good, then everything is going to be pretty good. We're going to go through this together, and Aurora Labs team, the team who is building Aurora for you and different projects on different products on top of Aurora, we are here also to ensure that your user experience is the best. So in case you need to have a fresh breath of something, you can come join us and take a look at what we're building, either as a user or as a sidekick for us in our team. We have lots of open positions.
Thank you, Alex. This was warm yet great advice, and I certainly learned a lot about Aurora today. So again, thank you very much for coming to the 100X show.